further ado, the coach of USFL's Birmingham team, Skip Holtz.
Not just the coach, but the coach of the defending champions and the coach of one of the two teams that is going for the USFL title again this year. Skip, welcome back to the program. We had a lot of fun with you when you joined us in studio last year. It was a great deal of fun. Here you are again, trying to make it 2 for 2. You're ruining it for all these other coaches.
Well, the only disappointment I have is we don't get to do this live. That was maybe the best part of my week, was having the opportunity to come in there in studio and hang out with you guys. And I told you then, I said, I want an application on how you get on this. This is what you guys do on a day-to-day basis. I absolutely love it. But
yeah, thank you.
You're talking about the Guardians, and I'm still in the boat of, I don't know the Guardians, but I love the Indians. But
yeah, I know. There are many with you here within the Cleveland and Northeast Ohio area. I still find myself sometimes calling them the Indians, and I talk about them on TV and here on the show every day. How do you like your chances, Skip, for 2 in a row?
We gotta go play the game. I mean, it's still a football game, and you get what you earn. That's what we always talk about. And when we were fortunate enough to win it all last year, to go 9-1, we came back this year and talked about how hard it is to repeat. And we weren't trying to defend anything. We were trying to earn something. This is a new football team. There's about 60% of the faces are new on this team. And that's what kind of the motto that we've had all year. We're going to get what we earn. We got to go out and find a way to go 1-0. This is one more week. We're 9-2 right now. I think this football team has really put together a good season right now, but this will certainly be the cherry that caps it off, as everybody remembers who the champion is, but nobody, regardless of records, remembers who the runner-up is. What we got to do is find a way to go win one football game, and ought to be a great environment. Pittsburgh is playing really well right now. I think they're doing some really good things. They have the number 1 defense in our league, and as everybody knows, and the cliche and the saying goes, offense wins games, defense wins championships, and we know we're going to face a really good defensive football team tomorrow night.
You know, Coach Holtz, I was talking with the panel earlier, and I said, one of the things the USFL and any league, wants is guys that can make it to the next level and guys that you can promote to go to the next level because it helps the league grow. If there's 1 or 2 guys on your team right now that you would say, if you had to make a pitch for that deserve to be at the next level or deserve to have a shot, could you shed some light on those players and what they bring to the table and why you feel like they can play at the next level?
Well, I'm going to start with our quarterback, Alex Magoo, and what he's done. He was drafted. He was in the NFL for a couple years, and then ended up back here in the USFL. He's had a phenomenal year statistically with numbers. He scored 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's putting up gaudy numbers. He's got both. He's got a really good arm. He's seeing the field really well, throwing the ball really accurately, but he's making things happen with his feet as well. I think he's certainly a guy that can find himself in a camp. I think Jay Sternberger, who was with Green Bay for a while and then in this league, is a guy that's having a really productive year. Again, scored, I think he's got 7 receiving touchdowns as a tight end, doing a really nice job. Davion Davis. I mean, last year we had 12 guys off our roster make it into an NFL camp. And I would think that it's going to be very similar this year. We've got a really talented roster, but I think those 3 on offense for sure. I like Dante Tillman on the defensive side of the ball is having a really productive year. I think some guys are playing really well for us. And so it's going to be interesting to see, but I certainly think a handful of them are going to have the opportunity to continue playing, Garrett.
Coach, I knew you had Jay Sternberg. I didn't realize you had Davion Davis, too. I covered both those guys back in college, Sternberg at A&M and Davion at Sam Houston State. So I'm not going to lie, my allegiance was with Boogie Roberts, who's a weekly guest on the show here. But now that you got 2 of my guys, too, I kind of have a split allegiance here, Coach.
Mike, I could be on this every week as well. Again, I mean, there's nothing, believe me, I did not turn you down. I want to go on record as saying that. I did not turn you down to be a weekly guest. No, both Davion Davis and, Davion's had a phenomenal year, had a great week last week, had a couple touchdown type of day. He's been a 100-yard receiver a game almost, really doing some good things for us, playing well. But him and Jace, I think, are both very, very talented players, and we're fortunate to have them.
Skip, as you know, I'm just a huge, huge fan of your father. I'm blessed to be able to say that we were coworkers for so many years at ESPN. Yep. One of my favorite things about Pops, and I loved everything about him, was how they could be getting ready to play Akron in week 2 of the season. And your dad would come to the podium in South Bend and he'd say, hey, now listen, hey, Akron, they got the #1 punt returner in all of college football. And you sleep on Akron, and they're going to get you. I can only imagine what you're telling your team, because when you look at Vegas and you look at the line, you guys are huge favorites. How are you working some of your dad's magic? I hope you like what I did there.
Yes, I did. I got that.
Because your dad is a great magician. What are you telling your team to make sure that they're not reading the clippings and they're not looking at the line and they're not hearing everybody say that they're going to win this game easily?
Well, I think it's like everybody wants to look at the numbers. We're 9-2 right now, and they're 5-6. But it's easy to pull out what just happened in the XFL when you have the 4-6 team, and everybody said they can't win it. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. 3 teams from the other division should have been in it, and then they run the table and win the championship. You look at the first time that we played Pittsburgh, we won the game 24-20, but offensively we had scored a touchdown really with no time on the clock right before half to make it 10-9. This was a game we had returned a touchdown for a kickoff for a touchdown, and we ended up winning 24-20. So I don't think it's going to take much. I mean, when you look at where they are statistically, you look at them defensively, and they've got all the numbers. I mean, they are #1 or #2 in every statistical category when you look at them defensively. I don't think this has been a hard one to sell. Turn off the noise. We call it the circus and the noise going on the outside. Let's just make sure we stay focused and put our best foot forward. But we've got plenty to sell with how good this football team is and the kind of the two-headed monster they have at quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and they've won 3 in a row. So there's an awful lot riding on this game, and anything can happen. We just got to make sure we show up and put our best foot forward.
#1 offense versus #1 defense. They back in the day they said defense wins championships. Now they say you got to throw the ball around a little bit. When you look at what they're able to do on the other side of the football as far as defense goes, what are some things that you guys, going into this game really need to do in order to make sure that you guys can win this game?
We've got to execute. I mean, one of the things this year, we've been a really balanced football team with the run and the pass. And I think we have to have balance, and we're going to have to be able to execute. We're going to have to be throwing and catching at a really high level with what we do. Like I said, this was a very tight football game the last time we played it. They do not. They're really fundamentally sound. What they do is, I'm going to say it not in a negative way, but it's not sexy, but it is full of substance. I mean, they do what they do. They're very, I don't want to call them simple. You know where they're going to be. But just even though the lines all draw up in your favor, when the smoke clears, it's 2nd and 8. It's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. They do a really good job. They have great football players. You talked about Boogie and the job that he does, and they've got great football players. They're physical. Their linebackers are active as they can be, probably the 2 of the most active linebackers that we're going to see. But like I said, it's got all the makings to be a great game, regardless of what the odds say. Because of the records, I think it's got all the makings to be a great game. And the first one, if this game is anything like the first one, we're going to be in for a real treat for the championship game.
We've been doing our part, Coach. We've given out 40 tickets over the last week to the championship game. As a show, we actually went down to one of the games in Canton a few weeks ago, and that venue's phenomenal, and the atmosphere and the crowd experience, the fan experience was top-notch. What are you expecting the crowd, the atmosphere, the ambiance to be like on Saturday night for the USFL Championship game?
Well, we're trying to kind of reverse this with Pittsburgh being kind of the home team here. We're trying to reverse this a little bit. Last week we had the opportunity to play in Birmingham, and the crowd was awesome. I mean, they were a difference maker. They were loud. They were into it. It's championship football. This is for all the marbles. I look at it when I say just opposite. I think Pittsburgh's going to have the home crowd. I know we're going to have some people that are going to travel, and we have a following that'll be here. But I would certainly think that the numbers are going to be in Pittsburgh's favor. And so we know that we're going to have a crowd behind us. I mean, a crowd against us a little bit. And so we just got to go play the game. I think it ought to be a great venue. Obviously, the facility is unbelievable. And to anybody that hadn't been to the Hall of Fame, to turn it into a 2-for-1 where you could go to the hall, spend a little bit of time there during the day, and then come to the game that night, I think it's got a great making. I know they got a concert in line for it. Nice. The weather, as long as a little bit of this rain holds out, I think it's going to be a great weather. I mean, we've been down at home there in a 105-degree heat index, and we come up here and it's like going to be 83. I mean, it's perfect. It's going to be a high of 80. I mean, it has been absolutely perfect weather. So I think for anybody that loves football, This has got a chance to be a historic game with everything riding on it. 8 teams started the season. There's 2 left fighting for this final championship game. And so I think it's got the makings to be a great contest, a great game, a great environment, a great atmosphere, a great facility right here at the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
Coach, when you look at where the league is now 2 seasons in, give us your status report on how the league is doing, how Birmingham is doing, because I have seen some of those crowds in Birmingham. It's been very impressive. And I know they usually say if you can make it through that first couple of years, you've got a nice runway to success. What's your assessment of the league's grade card at year 2?
I think they're doing a great job. I think when you start all this and say, will they make it, you have to say, is there a need for it? If there's not a need for it and it's just a gimmick, it's going to be a one and done, two and done type deal. But right now, when you look at the number of players, there's 400 players on these rosters in this league that are all vying to get in the NFL. And you look at many of them have already been in the NFL and then are back in this league gaining a little bit of experience. And as I said, last year we had 12 guys get there. I think there's a need for it. I think it's very obvious through 2 years of the USFL that people are going to support it. When you look at the ratings and what's going on right now, it's been off the charts. But I think it all starts because of Fox's commitment. Fox got into this not to say let's be a one and done. They said, let's make a product here. And I think they've had a phenomenal plan in putting it together, making one place the hub for year 1, branching out to 4. Next year, maybe there's going to be 6. They've already started selling season tickets for year 3. I think they're kind of past the point right now of asking the question, is there going to be a year 3? And now it's just rolling over and we're going. Nice. I think right now Fox and everybody involved in this couldn't be more excited about the reception, the way the fan bases have supported. And I think they're excited to get everybody in their own hubs. And I'm excited that I have the opportunity to be part of it, because I think it's going to be one of these things 20 years ago. We're going to say, Callie, what did people do if they didn't make it to the NFL before we had the USFL?
Yeah,
what did people do? How did quarterbacks go gain experience? How did left tackles go gain experience? Because really, when you came out of college, you've got 120 Division I football teams, and you've got all those guys that are graduating and coming out. There's only 32 NFL teams, and the NFL doesn't have graduation. You've
right.
got to take a spot. They don't lose guys every year to graduation. So there's a lot of guys that are out there coming out of college each and every year. And I alluded earlier to the number of new faces on our roster. It just goes to show you the talent that is still out there that's looking to have the opportunity to continue to play this game, whether they want an opportunity in the NFL or whether they just want an opportunity to play the game because they love it. But that's one of the things that I've loved about this league is just the passion and the energy of the players that are in it.
When you talk about going to your own hub, are they moving towards next year, you guys playing out of your own stadiums, out of your own facilities, practicing? I know you guys practice here currently, but are they moving to a model where now you get your own community involved into the USFL as well?
Yeah, I really think they are, Garrett. When you look at some of the growth that they're looking every year, I think it's kind of a feasibility model. What makes sense in all our hubs with what we're doing? And, they're even talking about trying to start to build permanent structures for each team in their own hub. We've been operating, most of us have been operating out of a hotel or makeshift facilities to make it work. Now, we practiced at Legion Field. We played at Protective Stadium. And I think everybody's trying to get home bases, but that's one of the things that you just alluded to, that they're looking to make permanent structures in each and every one of these cities where the hub teams are, that have meeting rooms, that have a practice facility, that have a weight room, a training room, places that players could go to the office every single day rather than going to the hotel and something that's just been made possible, but having kind of year-round permanent structure would be awesome. I think that's all part of the next step. And that's why I said Fox is doing such a great job, because they're just looking at adding little pieces as it continues to grow to make it better and better each year. As we went from everybody in one hub to 4 hubs this year, I think it'll go to 6, and then probably everybody in their own hub with permanent facilities. So it's been exciting to be a part of it.
Very good. Coach, listen, best of luck to you. I know it's going to be a great game. I love when number 1 offense and number 1 defense get together, it's always, which is going to come out on top, and I think that's one of these classic examples of that. Good luck. in your effort to make it 2 in a row. And thanks again for coming on. And you do have an open invitation. It doesn't have to be in season.
I will. I just don't want to hear somebody. We're going to be loyal to somebody else because they were here every week. I mean, I just don't want to hear that.
I just want a good game and everyone to have fun, Coach. All right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, I'm hoping the number one offense wins because they're on our side. So I hope they take the deal. But I will tell you, and I had this. My father will be here at the game, so Jay, he's coming
wonderful.
up. Yep,
Wonderful.
so he's going to have an opportunity to come up and be here for the game, which I'm really excited about. But like he told me one time, he said, "Skip, that's the difference between you and me." He said, "I don't think you ever have to throw a pass to win a game." And I said, I thought about it for a minute, and I said, "You're right, Dad. That's a difference between you and me." Because I think you got to throw the ball to win a game. And he still comes from that Woody Hayes school of thought.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
With 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But guys, it's always a pleasure. One of my favorite things I did last year, staying up in Cleveland while we were here for the week, was spending the time with you. Always a pleasure. Enjoy it. Good luck to y'all.
Skip,
good luck,
feelings
Coach.
mutual. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Great interview, great coach. He's had success wherever he's coached, just like his dad. And he's a knowledgeable football guy. One of the things that I take from that interview, which is fascinating to me, you would think that, well, they won it last year, they'd be the overwhelming favorite to win it again this year. He said 60% of his faces are new.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing, too, because that means guys are getting opportunities at the next level, and then I don't think they retain rights to – I'm not positive, but I think if they go try out for the NFL, they have to get back into
I'm not sure how that works, but it's impressive that he's basically back to where he was last year. I think they're 9-2.
I think they're 9-1.
9-1. They're back to where they were last year, and there's more new faces than returning faces. That's a testament to Skip and to his coaching staff. They've done a great job, and I tell you, I've watched a number of games. I know you guys got to go to one in person. I'm playing baseball every Saturday. I don't get to see a lot of games, but I have caught a number of games. And there have been moments where I'm looking at it saying, yeah, this is really high-quality football. I think the American public is going to be okay with this, filling those football NFL-less months with a product that is watchable.
No, definitely. I think it's just about tapping into the right energy and getting people energized and having a good product. Well, first and foremost, that's what everybody wants to see.
Right.
What type of product do you have? What type of individuals do you have? And like you said, he mentioned his quarterback. Quarterback play is going to be huge for them and the XFL because that's what we come to see. And if you watch a game with horrible quarterback play, it's like watching paint dry.
Yeah. It's like watching a bad pitcher in a baseball game.
Oh, my gosh.